We have 6 months left of 2023. Let's make them count. Hi and welcome back to Zoetopia, where we believe that knowledge is power. My name is Zoe Robertson. I'm here to empower you through knowledge and motivation, and I'm not a professor. Let's get to learning. And in today's video, we are learning how we can basically conquer the last half of 2023 and make it our you know what. So if you're not feeling like that girl just yet, don't worry. These last 6 months are gonna get you there. Getting looser, we're going goal setting. My favorite strategy for setting goals is backtracking. So first of all, think about where you want to be in 6 months, how you want to end the year. Picture yourself around Christmas time, maybe New Year's Day, at the end of the semester, or, on the start of your break from work, thinking about what you've done and what you've accomplished throughout the last 6 months. Once you can clearly see what type of person you are, not just what you've accomplished, but how you're living at the time, like what is your health like, what is your work life like, what is your financial health like, how do you dress, who do you surround yourself with, where do you live, all of those things. Things that you have now and things that you'd like to change, and just who you are as a person. Once you got a good feel for that and can kind of see like, okay, what I have to change, then set goals. And while you're setting goals, keep in mind that you have to have goals that you can continuously work towards and that aren't really elusive. We've already gotten through the sort of elusive, dreamy, wishy-washy type of thing with the visualization. So now when setting goals, set SMART goals. And I'm going to try to remember now all of the specifics of a SMART goal, which is, first of all, it's specific. So it's not like become rich, just like have this income or have this net worth. Measurable, you have to see, for example, like I said, if you have a net worth, that's very easy because you can just see how far you're coming along as the money is adding up, And then I think it's just attainable, realistic, and time-bound. And all of this is time-bound. We have 6 months. Obviously, if you want, you can set a goals that go beyond 6 months. But right now, I'm trying to tell you how we can conquer these 6 months. And don't have too many goals. I like to sort of break it into, so when you're looking at the life you want, you can break it into health, finance, personal development, and maybe something social. And I personally wouldn't have more than 2 goals in each area, because 6 months is a long time, but it's also, not that long of a time, and we want to really focus on reaching the goals that we do have, not like making 10% progress here, 10% progress there. We want to be able to actually take it home. So that's a part of the attainable also. Even though a lot of things have sort of a compounding effect and can rise exponentially, I would still think, if let's say you want to make $120,000, that's roughly $20,000 a month. So you have to be able to see, how can I actually make $20,000 a month? And if you don't at the moment see how that is possible, then you can absolutely rein in the goal a little bit, or work harder on thinking on a strategy. And also, if you're exceeding your goal, you can always amp up that goal. I'm just saying, we have to make sure that we're not disheartened. But like I said, so money is an area where things can be kind of exponential, so the math is a little different. You don't start out with 20,000. It's more likely that you start out with 5 and then you end with 40, However, there are things like, for example, if you have a goal to lose weight, don't bank on losing more weight as time goes on. More likely, actually, you'd be losing less weight as time goes on. It's a lot easier to lose weight when you're at a higher weight because you burn a lot more calories than when you're at a lower rate. Plus, your body will really be looking out and being like, okay, we don't want to lose too much, so it'll burn as little calories as possible. So all of these things you have to take into consideration. Like I said, we're not doing wishy-washy goals. We are doing goals that you can strategize. And that will be the next part of this video. So when you're writing your goals, think, how can I make a strategy for these goals and make a time frame? The last part of a SMART goal is that it is time specific and it has to be timely. So if you're not able to actually break this goal up into the months and see progress as the months goes on, or know roughly where you'd like to land in at least 3 months, then you have to rewrite your goal. And obviously, not all goals are compounding. A goal can be to get into the school you want, but then it's more important to look at the different steps and when you take that step, etc. How cute is this? Honestly, I think there's one for each color. It's a little beat up because I've been traveling, but these are so cute. It's made by Paper Chase. And I love this notebook because it's like a school notebook with that you can break it up into different things. But it's so cute that I never used it for school. I just use it for my dreams. Moving on. Once we have our goals in place, what we need to do is to set systems in place to ensure that we actually reach those goals. And a little heads up, me and a really good friend of mine who is this incredible young female entrepreneur are actually creating this complete book on how to become the best version of yourself, basically, that we are creating with knowledge from several of the biggest self-help books, where all of this is basically done for you, so you can put in your own goals and build upon systems, but sort of just like modify them for your own need. And I think you'll learn a lot from this book. And I don't have it done yet, but we're very, very close. And I just wanted to let you know, because if you're into this, you're probably into the book. In the meanwhile, however, what I've been doing is just having my own little system and my trusty notebook. I literally got the idea for this video as I was breaking down my own last half of 2023 and creating my own systems to reach my goals. So this is just a system that I have, but I think this is applicable for the goals that you've written as well. I hope so. And if not, the whole point is just to learn from this to build your own system. So usually I would recommend to do quarterly things as well, but since we're just doing the last half of the year, that doesn't really make sense. So I have monthly, weekly, and daily. And I'm mainly gonna share like what is actually useful to you. And then also just keep in mind your own goals as I'm reading this. So for me, monthly, I have to each month review my finances / business, review my health, plan my content, plan my schoolwork. Right now, obviously I don't have any schoolwork, but for the months to come. Plan my schedules / appointments, and set 3 main goals for the month. So the main goals ideally should be within your overall goals for the last half of the year. So to make sure you're on track kind of, and just like give yourself something to really focus on that month. Like I said, if we focus on too much at a time, we lose. Then for me, weekly, I have to review like my portfolio and headshots and whatever, and just make sure that it's up to date and that it's applicable for the market at the time, and decide with like which jobs to apply to, whether that's like an acting gig or UGC or whatever it is, just to make sure that I'm not wasting my time by applying for too much, but actually just looking and being like, okay, what is really applicable to me and my brand? For me, also, for each week, I have to sort of plan like, okay, where do I want to put my energy towards my content creation? Which platform am I focusing on? Whatever things you have in your life, for example, if you have like different fitness things you do, different classes for school, then weekly check in like, okay, where should I put my energy? For example, it doesn't make sense to spend 5 hours a week studying for each subject if you have a very important exam coming up in one of them. Then obviously spend the time mostly on that. Stuff like that you just have to go back and look at. Like, it's great to have systems, but I think that a big part of a system is actually just reviewing what's working and making sure you're not doing it like a machine. Like, oh, I spent 2 hours here and 2 hours there, but they are actually looking at what makes sense right now this week. And then daily, first of all, when it comes to daily, you can decide how much you actually want to put down, how much you want to like focus on. I've said this before, like for some of us, like me, I should probably put down a reminder to drink water. If it's important to you to like make your bed, to get into the right headspace, you can put that down, but you also don't have to if you do it automatically. This is what I've chosen to put down. Physical exercise, craft, social media, study, generate income. So working on any income generating activity, whether that's print on demand or a day job. Leave the apartment and talk to someone. I think this is just a reminder to myself, because last time I lived alone, I'd sometimes just like only like leave the house, because I only had classes like 2-3 days a week, and it was a little bit of a hassle for me to like go somewhere because I lived a little out of the city. So Oftentimes I'd only be like leaving the house at like 9 p.m. to go to the grocery store, and I don't really talk to anyone at the grocery store. So this is a reminder that like, even though I'm super introverted and love being alone, just for health, I should probably like go meet up with a friend, or go to the library, or go to the gym and talk to someone I know there, and just like be a little bit social, so I don't become like a hermit, because I absolutely can. I'm the kind of person who will like stay at home with the curtains closed for like days, like order pizza. It's not healthy. So that's a reminder to myself, like literally be a person. Oh, tidy my space. That's a reminder that I need. I love having a tidy space, so that is something I want to focus on, especially like if I end up living alone. I think it's really good to like actually put effort into that, like not just tidy for others, but tidy for yourself. And then I'd also recommend you, if you don't do it automatically, to visualize. And now I'm gonna stop saying this, because like today I was honestly like, I had a really bad night of sleep, and I just didn't feel like waking up at all. I was like super like just very sad and like anxious. So I was like, oh my god, I gotta visualize. And then I was struggling to visualize also, and I was like falling asleep because I was so tired. So then I decided to just go on Pinterest and look on things that inspired me, and I got like so happy, and I literally got up before my dog. So yeah, I would absolutely recommend like either like visualizing inside your head, writing things down on paper, or just looking at Pinterest pictures of like what you want your life to be and what matters to you and what is fun to you, and it really helps. Like this gets me out of bed. This is what I think about when I'm going to sleep, and without it I probably would have slept till like noon. Like I had honestly like no serotonin, like no happiness before I started looking at those Pinterest pictures. You can quote me on that. And obviously each and every goal you have should have specific habits tied to it. So within this system, like if your goal is to get into great shape, you should have maybe specific workouts for each week. You should have plan my workouts. If you're doing workout classes, then for each month you should have plan my workout classes, or sign up for whatever class you want to do that month. You should not have a single goal on your list that does not have habits attached to it and does not have a system in place to review and see the progress of that goal and make sure that you're actually working towards it. So I was planning on doing this portion of the video while cooking myself, like making myself like a smoothie or something, but it turns out I kind of like overserved myself at breakfast. So instead you're getting like a very unfit nerd on an elliptical. So this portion is about health. No matter what you're doing, what your goals are, a very important part of conquering any period of time is to actually look out for yourself and look out for your health. So first of all, like I said, physical exercise, very important. We should all be getting at least 30 minutes in a day. Secondly, we need to look after what we're eating. That doesn't mean like getting super skinny or getting super buff and like getting lots of protein, eating like chicken with rice. I'm vegan. I don't even eat chicken. I hardly even eat rice. Rather, it's about watching that you're getting the nutrition you need. So, are you low on vitamin D, vitamin B, vitamin C? Try to get it up in your food. Also, take vitamins. If you're feeling sluggish, maybe you have too little protein, maybe you have too little carbs, maybe you need omega-3. Look for whatever you need. But if you have any health goals, also this is a great time to work on them. So you can like make yourself a food plan, or maybe you want to get into meal prepping, maybe you want to research more vegan things. I have some resources about that up on my channel, but honestly there are also a lot better vegan YouTubers than me, so look at those or whatever. Exercising and talking is so hard when you're in so bad shape. I've only been on here for 3 minutes and 23 seconds. Look out for your mental health. Try some mindfulness, try some meditation. I love just walking in nature without headphones on, taking it all in. Definitely utilize the last bit of sun we have. I mentioned vitamin D, and getting sun on your skin in general is so important. And honestly, like for a lot of us, we live in places where the sun goes away during the winter, and we need to soak up all the vitamin D we can get right now without getting skin cancer. Oh God. And so just like putting it in the bank, you know? Try to be in the sun like 5 to 15 minutes a day, depending on your skin and stuff. And just like getting those rays and getting that happiness that you get from sun, just like storing it in your body so we can get through the winter. Also, water. We have to drink water. Self-care, especially like we're doing 6 months, which means we'll have a whole semester. And when exam season comes and you're feeling really bad, don't forget to do a face mask. Don't forget to moisturize. Don't skip your face routine to study. Your face routine is important. All of these things are important. I think we sometimes forget and get like so into studying or working and whatever and think that we come in second place, but we don't. It's our life and we come in first place, and you have time to spend 20 minutes on your face routine. Honestly, I'd rather skip out on 20 minutes of sleep to get my face routine in, because if you're starting to like ruin your skin, you'll feel bad and you'll study worse anyways. Moving on. Donna is literally refusing to go inside, and I feel really bad for trying to force her to go inside, honestly, since it's such a sunny day. And as I mentioned on this channel before, her favorite pastime truly is sunbathing, her and Wilfred, so I'll show them both. Here's Donna. She just got up. I don't know why, but she's really enjoying the sun. And here is Wilfred, who is also enjoying himself. Look at that. That's just like true, genuine happiness. So I'm gonna try to just film this outside. So this part I think actually fits very well with me being in a garden, because it's just to surround yourself with positivity. And the reason for this is honestly motivation, inspiration, and when we feel better, we do better kind of thing. So I mentioned that Pinterest got me out of bed, and I think like Pinterest, vision boards, fun posters, good interior decorating, things that just make you happy every single day are a very good way to go about it. Or I love listening to inspirational podcasts, inspirational audiobooks, listening to Mel Robbins. I love listening to interviews with successful people on YouTube, on podcasts, whatever, like Pretty Big Deal with Ashley Graham, or Girl Boss Radio. But maybe even more important, or at least equally important, who you surround yourself with. Right now I'm surrounded by plants and animals, and that makes me happy. But people, not just people who are positive, but people that honestly are like hardworking or in the same space you want, or that just aren't like bringing your vibes down. My mom always tells us people can either lift you up or drag you down, and there is actually no in between. So choosing your friends is more important than choosing your career. I'd also advise you to check in with yourself when it comes to your social media feed and unfollow anyone who sort of drags you down, and make sure that social media is a positive thing for you. So don't follow things that get you down, and if the platform itself is getting you down, then just cut down on it. And I mentioned friends, and a good thing you can do, and that we also recommend in my book with my friend, and that I'm doing with her, is to have an accountability buddy. So a person, like in 12-week year also, a person or several people, like a circle of friends maybe, that you check in with each week on your goals and your systems and your habits and how you're doing, to motivate each other, but also to help each other if you have any similar problems, or just to help each other, to lend each other an ear if you're having certain problems or anything. So we sort of revisited the wishy-washy by talking about positivity, just having a good time in the garden. Now it's time to get back to business. We gotta talk strat. In the strat we're talking right now, I should probably talk without these glasses because we're getting a wicked glare, guys. But they're awesome. These are blue light glasses that I bought for editing, but that I just use to look kind of smarter because I miss using glasses. I used to work as a substitute teacher And for like half a year, I followed a class of 18-year-old boys in IT, and I had them in social studies, and I had to talk about finance. So I just dressed up with a blazer and these glasses and talked to them the whole class with these fake or these blue light really glasses on to talk about finance, and none of them noticed, and it hurt my feelings. One of them actually said it looked like I was going to a funeral. Thankfully, he was usually a teacher's pet, so I will let that slide. Anyways, time management is one of the most important things. And this is something that you can do in a varying degree from your own needs. Anyways, we have 168 hours in a week. Let's say we use 8 of those hours for sleeping. 8 times 7 is, I believe, 56. And if I'm wrong, that's kind of embarrassing. I did the math, and that is correct. And I did it in my head, no calculators. So minus 56 equals 112 hours that you can use as you want. And then look at, okay, how many hours do I have work or school? Maybe that's 56 more hours. Minus 56 equals, that sort of just shaves it in half. So you're left with 56 more hours. So these 56 hours, look at like how important are your different goals. So how many hours you want to spend on a side hustle, on going to the gym, on spending time with your family or friends, on studying. And then when studying, also like I said, each hour, look at like each week, look at how many hours you want to spend on this subject, and then try as you can to have the right amount of hours and just move things around in your schedule. So always have open hours for example, going to the dentist. But if you plan like, okay, every Wednesday from 2 to 5, I study, and then you have a dentist appointment, you can try to just move that around, you know, and hit your hours as good as you can. But it's nice to have sort of an allotted amount of hours for something, just to make sure that we're actually prioritizing it. Not just, oh, I'm going to the gym, but like, hey, I'm going to work out for 2 hours, and I prefer to do that on Wednesday. Every Sunday, I write down like the whole week, just on Notes app, just like Monday, Tuesday, blah, 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 and write in what I have to do, and then I try to place the things I want to do. And if you do that, and then also a lot amount of time, there's this thing that Mel Robbins taught me, which is the Parkinson's law. Yes, Parkinson's law, which states that we will spend as much time on a project or on a task, whatever, as we allot to it. So, or as we have. So if you have 1 week to write an assignment, you'll write it in 1 week. But if you have an essay due in 8 hours because you're at exam, oh, suddenly it just takes 8 hours. So I time myself. I'm literally like, I'm gonna tidy this room, do the dusting and vacuum in an hour. If you have an hour, it takes an hour. I could probably do it in half an hour if I had to. Just think about when you're doing your makeup. Sometimes your makeup takes 1 hour because you keep messing it up because you have an hour. Sometimes it just takes 10 minutes. That is Parkinson's law. So actually, not only just allotting time, but also testing. Can I do this in that amount of time? And figuring it out eventually. You have 6 months, so really take time to build a system that works for you. That being said, if you want more information on this subject, you can watch this video on how to become that girl. That will absolutely help you along. And throughout these 6 months, obviously, I'll also be releasing a lot more videos on this subject of self-improvement. Bye.